Madam President, I rise in strong opposition to stripping off all of the House language from the Homeland Security funding bill and proceeding with a quote-unquote clean bill. And I do that, Madam President, because I took a constitutional oath, and I take that oath very seriously. And that language which we're debating in the Homeland Security funding bill from the House goes directly to that oath, goes directly to that responsibility. Does so for two reasons. First of all, this executive amnesty, about 5 million illegal aliens getting a blanket, significant amnesty because of the president's executive action, is a big deal. It's a big deal in terms of policy. It's a big deal regarding his overreaching his legal and constitutional authority. First, Madam President, policy. You know, it's a fundamental rule of economics. It's a fundamental rule of life that when you reward behavior, you get more of it. When you penalize certain behavior, you get less of it. Well, an amnesty, a blanket overarching amnesty that gives about 5 million illegal aliens in the country here amnesty, is rewarding behavior. It's rewarding behavior we say we want to curtail, we say we want to stop, but we're rewarding it. And we're going to get more of it. And that's just not me saying that theoretically. We've lived that over and over and over again. The president, a few years ago, took a similar but smaller executive action, commonly referred to as DACA. That focused on younger illegal aliens. And guess what? Soon after that action, a wave of new young illegal minors, unaccompanied minors, started coming into this country in numbers like we had never seen before. Does anyone think that was unrelated? Does anyone think that timing was just coincidence? Of course it wasn't. The president rewarded illegal crossings, and surprise, surprise, he got a whole lot more of them in exactly the class, younger illegal minors, unaccompanied minors, that he had acted on through DACA. So this is going to happen again on a much larger scale. We're going to grow the problem through this policy, not get control of it. But the second concern I have, Madam President, is even far more fundamental, because it goes to his constitutional power and authority, and the fact that he is going well beyond that constitutional power and authority, I think clearly. You know, presidents have significant authority. They're the executive. They need to execute the law. In executing the law, they often have to fill in the blanks, fill in the details that Congress has not fully provided. But that's very different, Madam President, from acting contrary to the law, 180 degrees contrary to statutory law. And that's what the president is doing in this instance. And no president has that authority. You want to do that, you need to change the law. And as every school kid knows, that goes through Congress. And then the president obviously has a role in terms of a veto. But the president doesn't want to do that. He can't do that. Congress disagrees with him. So he is just changing the law with the stroke of a pen. That is what is clearly illegal and unconstitutional, because he's acting contrary to statutory law. Now, some of his apologists, including Loretta Lynch, for example, say, well, every president can set prosecution priorities. We're simply setting priorities. We're simply saying this class of folks are not a priority for legal action, deportation, prosecution. Well, I asked Ms. Lynch directly after she said that, isn't it true that the president is going beyond that? Isn't it true that he is giving this entire class of illegal alien a new legal status? She had really no substantive response. And I said, isn't it true that the president is going beyond that? He's creating a new document out of thin air with work permit at the top and handing it to these illegal aliens and suggesting they now have a right to work legally in this country, even though statutory law makes it crystal clear that they do not. She had no substantive answer to that. So, Madam President, I urge my colleagues not to strip out this important House language. The President's action is bad policy that will grow the illegal immigration problem, and it's acting clearly beyond his legal constitutional authority. Thank you, Madam President. I yield the floor.